Good morning, and it is pretty early. I've just had a yogurt this morning for breakfast, and as I walked towards the bin, I don't know if you've ever done this. I had the lid just taken off in one hand. I had the yogurt in the other hand. Guess which one I put in the bin? Yeah, this is definitely a case of my right hand not knowing what my left hand was doing, which happens to be the topic of today's video. So enjoy. Have a great day. So, Matthew 6, verses 3 to 4, Jesus says, "But when you give to the poor, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you." And this is so simple. Work, give, support, help others in silence and in secret. You may be tempted to tell others, I may be tempted to tell others, the volunteering, the charity, the donation that you are giving towards others, but don't allow no one but God to know. So, as we look through this, there's a few things that come to mind for me. The first thing is that he talks about the poor, and the question is simply, do we even see, first of all, the poor? Like, are we listening to the needs of others? This verse says, when you give to the poor. So assumes you already are. But are we? And not poor financially, but poor in spirit. Those who are struggling, depressed, lonely, angry, or hurt. Are we closing our eyes and not even seeing them to be able to help them? And that's the challenge before we even begin addressing this verse, because Jesus assumes we are already seeing the poor. So if not, try praying more for others and listen to the answers. For the still inner voice will be God's voice. Your conscience, my conscience, is the Spirit of God, and He will guide you to do the right thing. God is our conscience. It says in 1 Peter 3:16, He is our clear conscience. That small voice that speaks to you to help your friend, listen to your partner, give to that charity, buy food for that homeless person outside Tesco. That is God. There are, I think, 30 verses in the New Testament alone that evidence our conscience is one of the key ways that God speaks to us. And one being this, Hebrews 9:14, cleanse our conscience from acts that lead to death, so that we may serve the living God. The next thing that comes to mind as I read this verse is, okay, so we see the poor, and then the question is, are we giving? And the challenge to then is to see them and then obey and do, as that last verse suggested, to serve the Lord, to take action and to give. We often think financially, but it means to give to the poor our time, our energy, our thoughts, our words, our deeds, to help others in need. Matthew 25:40, it says, truly I tell you, whatever you do for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Be the change you want to see in this world, and act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. And so the last part of this, it finally then, we catch up to what this verse is actually about. Because so far, the first two questions we've asked, we're already assumed we were going to be doing. Jesus assumed that we were doing these things. And so to you, to me, if we are not doing these things, then we need to really focus on listening to God, as we said. But Jesus then, he extends this challenge now to us. So we've seen the poor, we're now giving to them, but now we need to be thinking and ensuring that we're doing this in secret, without drawing attention, without sharing our good deeds, just serving others quietly. This verse says we will be rewarded in heaven, but yet we're made in his image, so we already get these instant rewards. We get brain chemicals released, serotonin. That's the feel-good hormone. That's the warm, fuzzy feeling we get when we help someone. The emotion of tears that come when we know we've done something to someone in a positive way and helped others. It in itself is a reward. It is a way of self-love through loving others by loving God. And I'll say that again because I believe that actually it is a way of self-love through loving others by loving God. Because, as 1 John 4:16 says, God is love.
Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Take it from somebody who knows. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.